Chair James Comer unveiling a brand new subpoena for Attorney General Merrick Garland regarding Joe Biden's illegal classified documents. He shares that with Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan. Here he is right on set. Mr. Chairman, thank you for this. You want to know, for the Robert Hur investigation, I'm going to make sure we lay this out for our viewers, what the documents were. You're interested in whether there were video interviews as well. Can you just tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, we want to see the transcripts for the Robert Hur interview with Joe Biden, because we have questions about Joe Biden's mishandling of classified documents. We've been very transparent in public about our concerns about the documents. We have some emails from Hunter Biden to various people around the globe that he was receiving money from, that in these emails are attachments that appear to be government documents. We want to know, were those part of the classified documents that were mishandled by Joe Biden? In the Hur report, they listed the countries that were involved and some of the countries where the Bidens have received millions of dollars.
China.
Well, Ukraine, Russia, some of those places were in there, China. So we want to know exactly which documents they were. And we also want to know if Robert Hur asked the certain questions about Hunter Biden. We know from a transcribed interview we did months and months ago with Kathy Chung that we believe there are some discrepancies in what she testified about Joe Biden's knowledge and involvement in mishandling the classified documents versus what the media reports have been about Robert Hur's interview with Joe Biden. So we just want to put everything together and make sure it's honest. And look, everybody's been on me in the media about releasing the transcripts every time we have a deposition. Normally in a major investigation, you don't release the transcripts until you've deposed everyone. But the media is always every day, when are you going to release the transcripts? Now we ask for transcripts on Joe Biden and they're silent. They don't care about transcripts.
Someplace Robert Hur had to have asked Joe Biden why Biden thought it was legal for a senator or a vice president to take these classified documents away. They're supposed to go into the National Archives under the Presidential Record Act. Everybody knows it. Whether he has a faulty memory or not, he broke the law. Now, it's got to be in there. Hur must have asked Biden, what were you doing as an ex-senator taking stuff away, don't you think?
You would think.
Really?
You would think. But we don't know exactly what Hur asked, and we need to know. We need to know because a central theme in the Biden influence peddling investigation is the fact that the Biden family, specifically the son and the brother of the President of the United States, were selling access to Joe Biden. And one of these emails was dated at a time when Hunter Biden was trying to prove his worth to a certain foreign national after Joe Biden left the presidency. We know that Hunter Biden was receiving a huge salary from a Ukrainian business. And when the day Joe Biden left office, they cut his salary in half. So the email went out at a time when he was trying to prove his worth. And that's what the Biden brand did. That's what we've learned in all of our interviews and depositions. Anytime they were pitching themselves to a foreign government or foreign national, they would put Joe on the phone. See, we're close with Joe.
Do you think Robert Hur asked Joe Biden who else saw these classified documents? For example, I'm just going to pick a name randomly, Hunter Biden. Well, okay, do you think Hunter Biden wandered into the garage or the Corvette or whatever with these classified documents strewn about? There were no Secret Service agents like there were at Mar-a-Lago, and looked at them and maybe communicated something from them to his clients in China and Ukraine and Kazakhstan and God knows where else. Do you think he ever did that?
If Robert Hur did not ask that question, then that's malpractice.
There you go.
Because the documents that Joe Biden mishandled are in at least 4 different locations.
Yep.
How did they get in 4 different locations?
Yep.
And one of the locations we know Hunter Biden lived there for 2 years because a lot of the addresses for some of the wires from China were sent to Joe Biden's house because that's where Hunter Biden was living.
One last one. So the FBI and the Justice Department now are locking up this guy Smirnov, who was supposedly the FBI, one of his top most respected informants. I guess not. They're saying Biden, President Biden is saying your investigation is now over because this guy Smirnoff is no good. And I wanted to give you a chance to respond to that.
That's not true. Smirnoff was a tip that we received from Chuck Grassley. We investigated the tip, but we couldn't determine whether or not the tip was accurate because we didn't know who the informant was. All we knew, Jim Jordan and I knew about the informant was what Christopher Wray told us, that he was one of the highest paid, most trusted informants in the entire Bureau, that he had worked for the Bureau for over 10 years. Most of the people that were involved in that allegation were in Ukraine. Well, I can't go to Ukraine. I can't send my staff.
We talked about this on this show many times.
This has nothing to do with the tens of millions of dollars the Bidens took from China, Romania, from Russia. So this
with
wasn't
family. Each family member had their own little LLC company, and they were getting paid for
20 plus LLCs, 170 suspicious activity reports, tens of millions of dollars from foreign nationals that they can't explain one thing they did to receive the money. That's what this investigation is about. The investigation's about interviewing all these former Biden associates, and they say they were selling access to Joe, and that Joe was a willing participant. That's what the investigation's over. This FBI informant wasn't a part of the investigation. It's something we looked into, but we couldn't verify because we didn't know who he was.
Which is what you always said. I must have asked you that half a dozen times in the last year, and you always said that. So the investigation continues. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely. Yes, the investigation continues. Tomorrow, we depose Hunter Biden. Then we'll have the big public hearing that Hunter Biden claims he desperately wants to have, and we'll go from there. I mean, we want to issue a report, tell the American people the truth, and hold people accountable for wrongdoing.
Oversight Chair James Comer, thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming back on set.